Minesweeper is an iconic game. A puzzle game. A free game. Unless you play the version with microtransactions, which you shouldn't. And it's an interesting game. It presents you, and by you, I obviously mean me, and I'm suggesting you think the same way, because we're besties, obviously, with a fairly simple, standard set of rules and requirements, and the practiced mind can immediately set to work on them, identifying areas that are easier or harder. It is a problem that offers itself for the solving, and it's less unfair than it seems, but it is still unfair. Despite its seeming simplicity and small number of rules, it has enormous emergent complexity, since you can use Minesweeper games to create logic gates and therefore a whole computer. And the base game of Minesweeper is one of those games that secretly hides the P equals NP conundrum deep in its bowels. I think it's the simplicity of the base game that makes it so attractive to coders as a programming exercise. Minesweeper's great. I come not to bury Minesweeper, but to uplift it. I am pretty much done with Minesweeper myself because I have hit the limits of where skill and time investment run into each other. I could get better, but by how much, and in exchange for how much time? Some games are great for their investment of time, and Minesweeper asks more time of me than I am willing to give. Still, I like the style of game and I like what it represents, so I'd like to bring to your attention this wonderful game that I discovered thanks to the Loading Ready Run subathon, Minesweeper. Minesweeper is a free Minesweeper variant game made by Daniel Benmergui. Daniel Benmergui. Pick one. I'm very sorry, I don't know Argentinian names well. He's an Argentinian game developer and experimental designer who presents at GDC regularly and gets interviewed for being, broadly speaking, pretty clever about games. Exactly the kind of person that I want to like my channel. I didn't know that going in on this game. I just saw a novel variant on Minesweeper and gave it a shot, got thoroughly into it, and then figured I'd make a video, only for it to come out afterwards that I think I might cite this guy in something. I don't know if this gameplay footage is a great idea, but I can't imagine an alternative way to do it any better, right? This is a game where the action inhabits mostly my head. There's tension in whether I click in the right spot, if I do it right, but it's not quite the same thing as tension that you can participate per se. Much like Minesweeper, this is a game where you're doing math to solve a problem in front of you with partial information that's meant to work in an increasingly clear but increasingly dangerous landscape. In Minesweeper, you're trying to find all the safe places to stand. There's a distinct binary between whether you're going to die or not on any given square. In Dragonsweeper, your character, the mighty and heroic Jorge, is here to conquer the dragon, and he has to do that by leveling up. Starting at 5 health, every encounter Jorge claims a number of health and gives an equal amount of XP. Each time he fills his XP bar, he can gain a level, refilling his health and getting an extra half heart for the next round. There are a few places in the dungeon where you can restore your health with magical scrolls, and any empty square gives you information about the total XP value of all the tiles around it. Under Minesweeper rules, you don't want to click on squares with anything in them, but in Dragonsweeper, you're instead trying to find the squares that have exactly the right amount in them. And, because the math of the game is very finely tuned to make it hard, you don't have a lot of room to catch up if you fall behind the difficulty curve. There are points by which you have to find a new health pickup, and you have to start taking risks, reaching out from your starting position. The ideal level is one where you opened as many tiles as possible and taken exactly your health in damage, but that requires a level of precision the game deliberately makes pretty much impossible. You start treating low-value monsters whose locations you're confident in as little juice boxes that you can run to top out a level, to round out a 1 or 2. There are patterns in the levels that you'll learn over time. You can discover them on your own, but as you learn the way they work, you'll get excited to see them. The game documentation is deliberately very limited, which is why I have such terms in my head as gnome hunting and slime wizard, but I can't say for sure if that's what they're actually called. I could, I suppose, go into the game and try and find out, but do I need to? It's the wizard that hangs around slimes. It's the slime wizard. There's also so many little details in the game that I wasn't expecting. Particularly, if you have a Minotaur revealed, and you open a chest nearby, the Minotaur will turn and look at it and yell, with a little surprised emote. When the Rat King dies, all the rats that you can see sit down. After a while, pushing my way through the game, winning it multiple times and getting more and more thorough ways, I found out that there are alternate endings. And then I found there are achievements in the game. At the reward screen, you'll get your ending score, but there are also rewards for keeping some monsters alive. Particularly what I thought was, for a challenge run, I'd try and finish this game once without ever killing a rat. This is because I think rats are cute, and I know my partner, Fox, would be really happy with that. She had a pet rat when she was younger and regularly points out how strange it is that fantasy media treats rats as if they're tiny generic monsters, as if natural animals that want to avoid conflicts are actually roaming threats. This meant that I had to try and maximize my level and XP without ever touching a 1 value square, but also never killing a rat by accident. This is genuinely tricky since the game has just enough XP to get over the curve at some points, and it does require getting lucky a little in the early game. All those squares that you can work out that have a value of 1 are not easy places to clear space, but instead are now landmines. Not actually landmines. The game has actual landmines as well, and there's another thing for interacting with that. When I finally did my No Rats Dead run, I wasn't expecting to get a little stamp showing me cute art of a rat with a little love heart that recognized my achievement. Minesweeper is free, it's very clever, and you might find it a welcome puzzle in a month of highly stressful engagements.